Hello everyone, are you well? My name is Aaron and I like to make my own scratch build models, and this week is something I've been toying with for a while now. We all know Disney bought and successfully destroyed the Toy Story and Star Wars movies, so that got me thinking. In a last bit of desperation from Disney, they decided to merge both franchises together, so this is my take on that. Hence, that's why this video has three titles. It's either Toy Wars, Imperial Mech Walker, or the one that I like the best, how Disney destroyed all the movies I loved as a kid and turned them into trash. And breathe. Okay, rant over. On with the build. If I was going to make a Star Wars mech, that meant I had to go big. I spotted Zurg on Amazon for under €15 and thought it was perfect. However, when he arrived, I realised that I shouldn't try and buy things from Amazon whilst drunk in the early hours of the morning. I thought the figure was only going to be about 5 to 6 inches tall because of the price. Instead, he was a whopping 12 inches. Side note, I must stress, we're talking about a plastic model kit and not a conversation you would have with your other half when you explain that it's cold weather, and that's why the measurements are kind of wrong. However, Zurg was here and I needed his arms and legs, so broke out the hacksaw and started cutting. Getting the legs off was tricky, but after brute force and ignorance, I won. It was at this point I asked myself one question. Had I become Sid from Toy Story? Well, I didn't dwell on that question for more than 30 seconds because I had shit to build and I still needed his legs. And so, like a demented and deranged Dr. Frankenstein with nothing but 100% pure Italian ground coffee pumping through his body, I sawed, hacked, cut away at plastic until I'd finally, after 20 minutes of struggling, freed those sweet chunky monkey looking legs from his waist. But that still left me with the problem of the model I'd bought wasn't the same size as the legs. Luckily, I had bought this model kit about a year ago and dumped it on my big pile of shame because I hadn't the balls or the know-how of what to do with the kit. Until now, that is. I won't be using the wings for this build, but putting them to one side for a future Star Wars spaceship build. I was just going to need the cockpit for this, and that meant reading the instructions. Now, for most professional modelists, to which I am never going to be, reading instructions is simply following each step and you'll finally get what is on the page to a 3D shape. For me, however, it doesn't compute. I'm terrible with following the instructions, and that's simply because of the way I scratch build. I just glue and hack things together, a little cut here or there, until I get what I think looks right. Look, what I'm trying to say is, I kind of stuffed up building the cockpit and got the seating arrangement wrong. Alright, don't judge me. Now, we're around 4 minutes and change into the build, and I want to see if you're paying attention. If you want to leave a comment, start the comment with this code word, applesauce. That way, I'll know you're not a skipper who watches the first 3 minutes, then zaps all the way to the end to watch the big reveal. And while you're still here, why not think about joining my Patreon page? You'll be helping support my channel, as YouTube still won't monetize the channel simply because I haven't enough watch hours and supplies ain't cheap anymore. But if you just want to keep it simple, then liking, sharing and subscribing is still the best way to get this channel breaking into the mainstream. As you can see, I had to do a little cosmetic surgery on the cockpit so that it would fit the legs, and I've not gone into great depth talking on the build simply because if you've been watching, it was glue the legs to the cockpit, glue the arms to the legs, and that is the mech basically. Obviously, there were a few gaps, so I decided to tackle that with a little Green Stuff World putty to hide all the imperfections around the arms to the legs. I always wear gloves when I'm playing with this stuff because it sticks to my fingers like a son of a bitch and takes twice as long to wash off, and I hate having to sand my fingers when I have putty and super glue on them. What I'm using here on the screen of the cockpit is Green Stuff World liquid mask. It's like a latex that you put on, so when you spray it, you peel this latex off. You've seen me use it before, and then it keeps the screen clear. Now, you saw me pull the masking tape off to reveal the purple lines. I wanted to try and keep a little bit of Zurg's colour on the build, but just didn't like it. So went back over it with like a burgundy red, and then just painted other bits of the mech, and it was pretty much done. I used a panel liner just for the seams of Zurg's arms and legs, just to accentuate, whatever it call it, the lines in the model. Went over with a black wash. I have just started doing a new technique which I didn't film because I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but on my next build, which is going to come in the next couple of weeks, you will see me use the new technique that I'm using, and I think it looks okay. But for now, you're just going to see me do this, and it is close to the big reveal. And for the person that left a comment on my last build, his name was Puggle, saying that I don't build terrain. Well, buckle in, sunshine. Terrain is coming. So until next time, keep scratching that build, everybody. Thanks for watching.